Day. I don't know. The blood is dry on my hands now. My legs ache from running. My breath is thin, but the horror is still thick in my mind. I must write it down before my mind cracks, before the madness takes me, as it took the others. We were waiting, tense in the mountain pass. The general had fled from the dark tunnels, his face pale, his breath ragged. "Monsters," he gasped. "They are ghosts, shadows. They are death." He ordered us to hold the entrance, to be ready. He had left the tunnels rigged to collapse, but the tunnels did not collapse. Then came the first explosion. Not from our traps, but from them. The mountains roared and trembled. The sky turned to fire, and the rocks themselves came down upon us. The left flank was gone, obliterated. Then another blast on the right, more screaming, more falling bodies. The pass was no longer a battlefield, it was a slaughter pit. And then we saw it, the horror. From the black maw of the cave, a great spider emerged, but its form wavered, as if the world itself could not decide what it was. It scuttled silently, massive and mindless, until it vanished. Gone, as if it had never been. And then the screaming started. Goblins fell, clutching their heads, eyes rolling back, their bodies convulsing as if some unseen force was crushing their very souls. I saw one, Harg, his flesh blackening like he'd been cooked from the inside out, though no flame had touched him. He clawed at his throat, choking on screams, and then nothing, just gone. Then the snake man appeared. He stepped from the darkness as if the shadows had birthed him. He was tall, scaled, his golden eyes glinting like the promise of death. Arrows flew from the night, striking down my brothers, silent and swift, with no warning. It was as if the mountain itself had conspired against us, sending ghosts to end our pitiful existence. I saw him, the snake man, lift his dagger, and the air around it seemed to hum, before he vanished once more, retreating into the shadows. I turned to flee, then saw the rock demon. It had once been the spider. Now it stood tall, a creature of earth and fury, jagged stones for flesh, its eyes burning with a hunger that no mortal thing should possess. Its presence alone made the ground tremble, and with a mere thought, I saw my kin drop dead around me, as if it had willed them out of existence. And then there was the cage. We had trapped a beast, a leopard, sleek and powerful, but something was wrong with it. The way it watched us, the way it waited. The horror heroes freed it, and it became unstoppable. It grew, devouring goblins whole, gorging itself on our dead. It tore through the survivors with teeth and claws that seemed to glow with hunger. But when that elf, the one who whispered spells like curses, struck it down, it became something worse. A wizard, a robed monstrosity, its very shape warping as if it had only barely remembered how to be a man. And it fought back. Lightning crackled from its hands, fire danced along the ground, and the horrors who had slaughtered us fought it as if they had always been meant to kill gods. The air hummed with magic beyond my comprehension, and the wizard, it ran, because it knew it would die. It vanished into the horizon, leaving only the dead behind, and I ran too. I did not look back. I do not know if the horrors let me live, or if I was too insignificant to be noticed. But the mountain is silent now. The blood is dry on my hands. The sun sets behind me, and I know that even in the light, the shadows are still there, waiting. If you find this, know this. The massacre was not a battle. It was not war. It was something else. The mountain itself tried to kill us, and it succeeded.